Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, in reality, we people want to move.
Hey everybody, you're watching the Always Real Small Business Spotlight. I'm Kristofer Nowak, real estate agent with Fulton Grace Realty, and I'm here today with Ozzy Gamez and Juan Quezada from Plant Shop Chicago.
What's up, y'all?
How's it going? Yeah, right on. So, guys, you got some interesting stuff on your bios. I know that in yours you say that your plants, your succulents and your cacti listen to Wu-Tang and Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And Juan, your plants listen to an indie band called Yellow Days.
That was my favorite band at the time, but I've updated my bio. Well, I'm gonna update my bio.
Okay.
Now they listen to nothing but Mexican corridos.
Corridos. Okay. So is that like a rule if you work for Plant Shop Chicago, your plants have to listen to music? Is that?
I guess it's like one of those like unspoken rules. Yeah, actually, you know what?
It's not in the rule book yet.
The employee
It
handbook.
might be, yeah. It's actually there's a question like that in our interviews, and you just made me think about that.
Oh, okay.
There's a question, yeah. Like, what would you listen to?
Huh. Well, it's good to get to know people's personality,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. True.
Well, and that's what I'm here today is to learn about your personalities a little bit and your shop here. So tell me a little bit about Plant Shop Chicago.
Yeah, we opened up March 1st, 2018, and we kind of just had this mindset to like focus on indoor plants, things you can grow year round. You know, at the time we weren't like homeowners or anything like that, so it was like, what do people want to grow inside their homes when they don't have a garden or somewhere permanent like that? You know, so it's like people still want to bring plants into their spaces. So we're like, let's focus on tropical plants, things that are indoor friendly. And then you go down that like rabbit hole and you find yourself being like, that's a weird plant, that's a cool plant, never seen it before, and then you start gravitating towards those and start bringing that in.
Yeah, I noticed that some of the plants you guys have listed, euphorbias, pachypodiums. I mean, like, what are these like names of dinosaurs or like types of tropical fish? I mean, like,
some of them could be, yeah. Maybe they evolved somewhere down the line.
A lot of the that's not a lie, I'm sure. But no, a lot of what you just named is African succulents. Just a lot of like odd plants that you don't see in your like ordinary garden stores or big box stores. So we seek just a lot of the cool, unusual plants, and it happens to be euphorbias, which is a huge African species that we both kind of like gravitate to and just kind of bring in all the time so people can enjoy them, and keep on this like collecting of it's almost like Pokemon cards,
except they're alive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to offend the Pokemon people. Maybe they're alive too.
There's energies.
There's energies, right? Yeah. So, like, I'm the guy that knows nothing about plants, right?
That's all good.
Keeping plants alive inside my house has been a challenge. It's a shared challenge between my wife and I. So, succulents is usually what we stick to.
Yeah.
So somebody walks into your shop and says, "Look, I drive past here on Elston every day." By the way, what's the address here on Elston?
It's 4601 North Elston Avenue.
4601 North Elston. Right? How many people drive past this stretch and see Plant Shop Chicago and don't stop? But finally one day they're curious and they stop in and they say, "Look, I don't know the first thing about plants indoors. Why should I put plants in my house?" What do you tell them?
It's funny that you say that because it's not an imaginary scenario. That happens all the time.
I know.
Someone just being like, I drive here every day, and today I just happened to pull over because there was a free parking spot, and they come in. So yeah, that's a real scenario. But why you should add plants to your space? There's so many reasons. There's of course the benefits, all the research that's been done to like plants obviously purify air, help there's that gas exchange, all those things, right? All the scientific things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's also like something very positive for your mental, to care for something other than of course yourself or perhaps a loved one or whatnot. There's something to do with that. There's a lot to do with that actually. To care for something that'll depend on you, right? And then eventually you'll see the growth or an opposite of that, right? You'll see a downfall, but you try to figure out like what's going on. And I think it kind of just slows everything down, you know? There's a lot of that, like we live in a world that's just so fast paced, and I think there's a lot of like slowdown when you're looking at a plan.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome concept and really well said. And look, I don't think I think that's always going to be a timely comment that we all feel like we need to slow down, right? And you know, you mentioned the health benefits too, indoor air quality. You know, that's something that I focus on a lot as a real estate agent and as a property consultant. You know, people will say, you know, my home is uncomfortable because of the air. And we talk about temperature and humidity, and you go down that rabbit hole, you can start analyzing indoor air quality. And we talk about, you know, mechanical devices that can improve your indoor air quality. These are organic devices that do that, right?
Right, exactly.
In the age of COVID, when we've learned that indoor air quality is super important to not only help stop the spread of a disease like COVID, but just, you know, overall health and wellness in general. That sounds like that's something that you guys are sort of tapped into. Yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot of levels to that, but yeah, we try to, you know, tap into that.
Well, that's really awesome. So you opened in 2018, so you've had your business now for, 4 years now?
Yeah, a little bit 4 years.
And obviously, like, everyone faced challenges during COVID, but what has surprised you most about owning a business?
In general, or just do like?
Yeah, like in general. I mean, you know, obviously we can talk about what a challenge COVID has been.
Right.
But besides that, you know?
Yeah, like pre-COVID, things were, I mean, it was a challenge in a sense of being the first time opening up a business. And there's just so much that comes into that, you know. Actually putting a physical store and opening your doors is like the easiest thing, you know. Like prior to that, just the planning of like, you know, financially and just looking into like a business plan and actually finding a good business partner, which, you know, we're blessed to have each other. I feel like we both complement ourselves very well and you know, in the work that we do. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but somehow because we had that, you know, that thrive to just keep going, it kind of became a smoother roller coaster than I kind of imagined. But
A smoother roller coaster than what you would have imagined. That's
definitely still a roller coaster, but
yeah.
But it's starting to be fun.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's not like a cutthroat kind of like job where you're I don't know, dealing with numbers, because that could be very stressful. It's just, I mean, it was a hobby that him and I just kind of got into and later on turned into a business. So it was a pretty smooth kind of transition into the business.
So you guys were saying that this started as a hobby, right? And that friends with a hobby turning into a business. You can sense that when you walk into your store. I can sense it. And I sense it too when I drive by and I see that you opened up this second space across the street, and I see the cacti in the window.
Cactuses is acceptable now.
Cactuses is acceptable now? Okay.
That's what I read online.
Well, it must be true.
If it's online, it's true.
But like, it's super cool to see this, and over the years to see your business growing. That's got to be super gratifying for you, you know, on a professional level, but also in the community. What's the community involvement and engagement been like here at Plant Shop Chicago?
It's it was hard to read at first because we were just such a destination place that a lot of our first customers for the first year and a half, let's say, weren't from the neighborhood. They were people traveling from sometimes even out of the city, out of the state. And Elston is a pretty busy street. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Rush hour in the morning or in the afternoon.
That's right.
It's
nuts.
It's nuts, right?
You gotta get some traffic.
Yeah, so I think like the neighborhood knows that, and they take all the side streets, and the side streets can be very confusing, right? Because you've got an angle street, and it's just like it cuts off. So
yeah, I know. When I bring my kid back from school, I have to. Sometimes I cut down your street to the side streets and cut back. So I know what you're talking
So
about.
I think the people that live in the neighborhood, they know that, so they avoid Elston. So it took. I mean, there was maybe 2 years that someone was walking in there like, "Did you guys just open? I live behind here," and it was like, "No," but you understand that they're avoiding Elston at certain times.
But good old. This was an ice cream shop.
Yeah, the classic. This used to be an ice cream shop, like we get that all the time. But no, it's been great. I mean, we host events. We try to host events. Every September we do something called our sidewalk sale, which is essentially, we just invite small businesses to just post up outside. And at first, the first year was like 7, 8 businesses literally on the grass, on the sidewalk. Last year, we were able to take over the whole street and put vendors on both sides of the street, almost like a small festival.
Nice.
And it's one of those things where it's like, hopefully our neighbors don't hate us, but no, like people just start walking, and like walk into the events, and they're kind of just excited, every once in a while on the weekends, we'll invite someone to just post up right outside our door and sell snacks. So you'll see the neighbors walking up to just, grab snacks and just walk back. So I think it's been good. It's been very accepting and welcoming.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
I don't think we've had any negative response from the neighborhood.
I don't know why you would. I mean,
Every once in a while, our plant truck kind of blocks the street, and we're always like,
but it's only
sorry
for a few minutes. We unload the truck, get it out the way. But other than that, I mean, like, we've gotten people that come into the shop and literally thank us for being open in the neighborhood and wish us the best and say, I hope you're here for many, many years. So
yeah,
I think that's a positive response.
I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Small business is super important, right? I mean, it's part of establishing a neighborhood identity. So speaking of neighborhood, why Mayfair? Why this part of Albany Park? Why this part of Chicago on the northwest side?
Well, I live in the neighborhood. I live in Mayfair, like right at the border, Mayfair, Albany Park, right?
Yep.
That's where our store is, basically, right at that border. So it was just one of those things where a space became available, and then we pulled out a map and we're like, let's point out where anything similar to our business is at. This is, at the end of 2017.
Yeah.
Because let's pinpoint where, and this was like one big triangle of nothing similar necessarily, and so we're like, I might as well stay in the neighborhood that we're in,
Cool. So there's a void, there's a need, and you guys filled that.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And I heard very recently one of those competitors to yours just closed their doors. So what about the challenges of the business going forward? Where do you guys see yourselves? I mean, I said you told me that, Juan, that neighbors are telling you all the time, we hope you're here forever. What's the outlook on that? Is that going to be the case?
I plan to be here forever.
Yes,
for as long as we can.
That's a conversation we've had. It's that classic, like a lot of people tell us, like, this is such a neighborhood store, right?
Yeah.
Like, you live in the neighborhood, you walk to work, you're there all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that reminds me of just like an old school store, like very specific store. And it's, just a little old man or a little old lady walking around and they're working. And we've said it in conversation as a joke that we're gonna be those people, just like manning the fort, at like 70 years old and just being like a grumpy old man. But that is the plan.
Nice. Well,
that is definitely the plan.
That sounds really awesome. This is the stuff that great neighborhoods are made of, as far as I'm concerned. So thank you guys so much for doing this. Ozzy Gamez and Juan Quezada, Plant Shop Chicago. Thank you guys both so much for being with me here today and sharing all this great energy about your business today. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for talking to us. It was a good.
It's a cool interview.
Yeah, right on. Thank you.
I like it. Yeah, thank you so much.
So, Plant Shop Chicago, 4601 North Elston is the address. What is the website?
It's just plantshopchicago.com. On Instagram, we're at plantshopchicago.
Cool.
Check us out.
Yeah,
Stop
check it out.
in.
And I'm Kristofer Nowak, real estate agent with Fulton Grace Realty. If you have a business that you'd like to have featured, or if you know somebody who would like to have their business featured on the Always Real Small Business Spotlight, go ahead and reach out to me today. And also, if you are looking to buy, sell, rent a property, condo, single family house, 2-flat, investment property, you name it, give me a call as well. I can be reached 773-234-3869. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you for your time.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys around.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Peace.